In the midst of America's dark history, we embark on yet another emotional and disgusting journey, delving into the painful legacy of wet nursing during slavery. This is a narrative of heartache, sacrifice, and the enduring connection between mothers and their children. The era of slavery left a very nasty stain on our collective consciousness, and within it, we discover stories of suffering and resilience. Enslaved women, against their will, were thrust into the role of wet nurses. They had to nurture the children of their oppressors, while their own offspring remained out of reach. Imagine the emotional torment these mothers endured, torn between their love for their own children and the obligation to care for those who had caused them immeasurable pain. It's a cruel twist of fate, a relentless anguish. The history of African Americans hiring wet nurses during slavery has intricate roots that go back to the system of slavery. During the practice of wet nursing, African American slave mothers would frequently neglect their own children in order to nurse and tend to the infants of their masters. The harsh circumstances of slavery gave rise to this practice, which had significant effects on both enslaved women and the children they cared for. Due in large part to the antebellum South's economic and social basis, wet nursing was common during slavery. In order to maximize their earnings from using slave labor, enslavers frequently had to take away enslaved mothers' newborns from them. After giving birth, enslaved women were compelled to work in the fields or as household helpers, depriving their own children of sufficient care. Consequently, these infants were placed under the care of wet nurses, who were usually older enslaved women who had previously nursed their own children. Both the infants that the enslaved women cared for and the women themselves suffered greatly as a result of the wet nursing practice, because they had to take care of the infants in addition to their own job. Enslaved women who worked as wet nurses frequently endured difficult working conditions and long hours. Their health and general well-being suffered as a result of this dual burden. The infants' emotional and developmental outcomes were affected by being taken care of by wet nurses, which entailed being taken away from their biological moms. The practice also contributed to the dehumanization of slaves by emphasizing the notion that women under slavery were nothing more than commodities to be exploited by their owners. Some enslaved women overcame these difficult conditions to develop close attachments with the children they cared for, resulting in intricate relationships that went beyond the confines of slavery. Because enslaved women had to put the needs of the white children they looked after before their own, these relationships were frequently tense. As we wrap up, the use of wet nurses in African American history during slavery was a direct outcome of the cruel conditions of enslavement, when the welfare of enslaved mothers and their newborns was subordinated to economic considerations. This practice highlights how disturbing slavery was and how it damaged enslaved people's relationships and lives. It soberingly reminds us of slavery's lasting impact on African American history and culture, even to this day.